Вітаю, пані панове немнарне панство. Давайте ми відійдемо від цих гочучих квіток. Вітаю, пані панове немнарне панство. Мене звати Саша, ви на каналі Смарагдової драконихи. Ми продовжуємо грати в Hogwarts легасі. І зараз нам потрібно відвідати урок захисту темних мистецтв. Там було завдання. Ми мали доручення від професорки Гекати. Треба було там щось кількох чаклунів злих побити і навчитись ухилятися. Дуже легкий спосіб знайти купу злих чаклунів в забороненому лісі. Дуже швиденько я з цим справилася, думала, більше часу займе. А тепер можна відправитись до професорки Гекати. Тож сюди. О, заняття з усіма. Типу вона нас після уроку навчить. Окей. Та, добрий день, професор.
Professor, I completed all of your most recent assignments. Well done. Then you're ready to learn expelliarmus. Pay close attention. The disarming charm may often be all you need to defeat the most powerful dark witches and wizards you might encounter.
Spellcasting requires
Ой,
a
опять
focused
ця херня.
mind and a steady wand.
Там була якась кнопка F. Перший раз таке. Всегда були пробіли. Окей,
Good
експеліармус.
work. The dummy is here if you wish to stay and practice.
Ой, блядь, я не те нажала. Замість левіози експеліармус. Вибачте, будь ласка, що я цю капусту. Я що, винувата? Я її не можу прибрати. Як мені нічого не вибрати? Я не знаю, я не винна. Нарешті зникло. Так.
You seem to have the right end of the stick, but keep practicing. Expelliarmus may save your life.
Ой, воно довго відновлюється, це закляття.
Still at it, I see.
Типу, я не я маю...
Professor, do you have a moment?
I do. What is it?
Вам просто поговорити, ну окей.
I wondered, did you attend Hogwarts? I did. I am a proud member of Ravenclaw House. Why do you ask? I was curious as to how Hogwarts has changed over the years. I see. Well, the castle itself, as I'm sure you have surmised, is full of surprises. I dare say more than the staircases change around here. As for the students, well, they seem to get more capable every year. Although, we got up to just as much mischief in my day as you seem to now. I used to look the other way at all sorts of roguery when I was head girl. I can tell you, however, that I did once admonish a certain Phineas Nigelus Black for enjoying a sugar quill during a lecture. I hadn't realized that you and Professor Black were, students here together. Appearances can be deceiving. You see, I was once wounded by time itself. Time itself? I never would have imagined such a thing. Well, it was the risk I took with my prior position. You may or may not have heard that I was an unspeakable at the ministry for years. An unspeakable? What? As you might suspect, I cannot speak about what we did. Suffice it to say, the job was not without its hazards. Now, I hope I've satisfied your curiosity for the moment. You have. Thank you for speaking with me, Professor. Keep up with your wand work. One must always be prepared for mischief, both inside and outside of the castle.
Що у нас там далі в завданнях? Якісь практика. Але практику я цю не буду, ми підемо по основному завданню. Нам потрібно поговорити з портретом Елдріча Дігорі. Лего! Наша вітальня, яка красива, я кайфую. Дуже красива. А ось і Елдріч.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself. So few students know who I am these days. Eldridge Diggory, former Minister for Magic and founder of the Oral Recruitment Program at your service. I believe you can help solve a decades-old murder, thanks to that book you found, and, in particular, its missing pages.
How do you know about the book? And the
Власне, що я хотіла спитати.
Portraits here more than you might suspect, and most of us can keep a secret. So, what say you? Surely a Hufflepuff such as yourself would be inclined to help seek long overdue justice.
I'll do whatever I can.
Wonderful. I am pleased to have been right about you. My great niece, Helen Thistlewood, can provide you with details. She's retired now, but was a skilled aura in her day. And the unsolved murder of which I speak was her case. I often visit my portrait in her home, in the nearby hamlet of Upper Hogsfield. Shall I tell her to expect you?
О, ми ж були у нижньому Гоксміді, а тепер нам треба у верхній. Ну, давайте послухаємо про Гелен.
Can you tell me more about your great niece?
Cream of the crop when it comes to auras. A star pupil here, and then an exemplary servant to the ministry. And her spark hasn't diminished one bit in her retirement. She and I often chat about old cases and our glory days. No offense, but it's nice to get away from the students and converse with someone who's familiar with my legacy.
How could a few pages of a book help her solve an old case?
A boy disappeared with those pages, but they never found the body. A girl was convicted of his murder nonetheless. It seems those pages could exonerate her somehow. My great niece can tell you more.
Окей.
I shall go and see her right away.
Brilliant. With what I suspect is your knack for hard work and her keen mind, both mysteries may be solved sooner than you think. I shall see you there soon, I hope.
Ого. Ого, нічого собі.
One eternity later.
Ми майже на місці.
This must be the place Minister Diggory mentioned.
Так, отут вона ж... Ой, не є ельф-домовик. А я не могла постукати. Чого я зайшла?
Here you are. I'm pleased to see you took my advice.
Ой, добрий день. Він уже тут.
Madam Thistlewood, I met your great uncle in his portrait in my common room. He sent me to speak to you. I'm pleased you came. Uncle Eldridge believes the book you found and its missing pages may be relevant to an unsolved case from my time as an aura. Very well, I'm listening. Decades ago, a student named Richard Jekdor disappeared after going to meet a girl named Anne. They never found his body. When his headless ghost appeared briefly in Hogsmeade, wholly unaware of how he died, Anne was convicted of his murder and sent to Azkaban. It was in large part due to the testimony of a girl called Apollonia Black. Jealous of Anne, I think. That sounds terrible, but I'm not sure how I can help. Anne's alibi was somewhat labyrinthine. She said Jekdor promised her adventure following a map he found on some pages he'd stolen from Peeves. And do you think Peeves ripped those pages from the book I found in the restricted section? If my great-uncle is to be believed, yes. At least that's what the portraits at Hogwarts suspect. Anne insisted that Jekdor had asked her to follow the map with him, but only after she solved a series of puzzles he'd prepared. Odd way to woo a girl. She swears she never even solved the first puzzle, so they didn't meet. Jekdor's ghost vanished almost as soon as he appeared. Without Jekdor's puzzle, pages, or remains, Anne was sent to Azkaban based solely on Apollonia's spurious testimony. I don't understand. What can I do to help? I believe Anne may have solved the first puzzle by now, but after spending time in Azkaban, she's a shadow of her former self. She won't speak to anyone she doesn't trust, and she trusts no one. If you, a student with a connection to the pages, like Jekdor had, spoke to
Азкабан?
her, might reveal new information.
Насправді, я хочу побачити.
I've always
I wanted to see Azkaban. Count me in.
Цікаво.
It has a peculiar appeal to some, but it can be terribly disconcerting. Fortunately, being a retired aura has its benefits. We can apparate right to her. I've escorted ministers, professors, and many others to that blasted place. Never a student, I'll admit, but I will keep you safe.
Ну, давайте дізнаємо більше інформації.
Can you tell me more about Apollonia Black? Wretched, vindictive girl, that one. Apollonia claimed that Anne threatened to kill the boy after he broke her heart. The Black family's power over certain people in the ministry, along with the fact that Anne is Muggle-born, sealed her fate. I'd like to know more about Anne. That poor soul never was the brightest girl, and that lack of wit proved to be her undoing. I half suspect Jekdor and Apollonia were merely toying with her. Who could have known he'd end up dead? She's not held up well in Azkaban. In some ways, she blames me for not proving her innocence. I'd like to clear her name if we can. You said Jekdor's ghost appeared briefly, then vanished. Where do you think he went? I have no idea. Evidently, he was always a bit restless, going on and on about adventure. If I had to guess, he tired of Scotland and is somewhere on the other side of the globe by now.
А, це круто, що після смерті міг кудись податися по пригодам.
Very well, let's go. Steady yourself. We'll apparate together. Don't worry, I've never splinched anyone.
Do take care now, and tread lightly in that horrible place.
We'll be there in but a moment.
Ніхрена собі. О, дементори.
Expecto Patronum!
Ой, у неї там зайчик.
That ought to keep them at bay for now. Though, be aware, you may feel a wave of despair. It will pass. Thank you for the warning. This really is a dismal place, but we'll be out of here soon enough. Now follow me.
Окей.
Keep your wits about you.
I never thought I'd see the inside of Azkaban for myself.
Nasty dementors. Not even I could convince the ministry to send them off. There's no need for such monsters.
Careful around, Anne. She's been here a lot longer than the rest of them.
Ніхто не знає, що ми прийшли по Ен. Чи вона щось сказала, я не почула. Ого, жесть. Ой-ой-ой. Це не в'язниця, це якась тортурня. Жах.
That witch you're with has a dark cloud over her. I can feel it.
What is that I hear? Perhaps death in all its mercy approaches.
No one at school's going to believe this.
Now remember, Anne has been here a long time. The Dementors aren't kind. Have patience and speak to her quietly and respectfully.
Are you Anne?
Who's there? Who speaks to me? Is that death finally come for me?
I'm a student from Hogwarts. I found the book that you said would exonerate you.
Ah, the book, the book. No one would look. None of the mages found the pages. Methinks the feckless knave meandered to his cave. My fate was surely sealed in upper Hoggy Field.
What are you trying to say? That the missing pages are in a cave near Upper Hogsfield?
Field, ruins house, a vault concealed.
A vault in some ruins near Upper
Ми
Hogsfield.
проходили.
I suppose it can't hurt to look.
Can't hurt to look, can't hurt to look. Go find the pages from your book. Ellen, no, you're here. Come in closer, be a dear.
Вона римами говорить.
What is it, Anne?
Чим то вона її? Жесть.
You're hurt.
Go. The cave. You're safe now. You have what you need. I'll be all right once I get...
Я сподіваюся, вона в лікарні Святого Мунго телепортнулася.
But Madame Thistlewood, all right, I'll find it. I'll find Jackdaw's cave.
Далеко вона? А, не дуже. Я хочу сказати, що Азкабан – це просто жесть. Типу, це не в'язниця. Це тортури. В'язниця не має бути така. Окей. Нам треба... Ага. Ой, там ще з кимось будемо битися. Так. А, це вовк. Темнововк. Давайте почитаємо про темнововка. Тримаючи якомога більшу відстань від темних дворнях, ви можете впоратись з ними відносно легко. Якщо він наблизиться, його атаки можна відбити захисним закляттям, а потім контратакувати будь-яким освоєним закляттями. Коли він починає атакувати здалеку, особливо ефективним є підрив його назад за допомогою депульсо. А в нас є депульсо? Це інсендіо. У нас нема депульсо. Ну воно ще нам недоступне. Ну що ж, у нас є експеліармус і... Ці так спокійно ходять. О! Вау! Краса, їбать. Ой, я могла його експеліармусом захірачити. А це з них шкура. Це для якогось зілля треба. Вибач, що мені довелось тебе вбити.
This must be the place Anne told me about.
Угу.
Revelio.
Ні, нічого не... А, от там щось вдалечині. Окей. Що треба розібрати?
No one's been here for ages.
Але тут горять якогось хера свічки. Що значить тут нікого не було віками? Свічки то горять. Так. О. Так. Тобто... Хорошо, якщо...
Incendio.
Спрацювало? Окей, почорніло, і що? Єй! Вдалося. Це чим? Ого. О, горобине зілля. Мені всі їх треба повитягувати.
It's no wonder Anne never found that clue.
Ага, це якась загадка. Добре. А де може бути підказка? Сука, заїхала назад. А, це камінь.
Revelio.
Вони підсвічуються, тобто їх треба витягувати. О, це бабусик. Тут важливий порядок. Давайте ще раз. Чи воно вже... А, воно вже витягнуте. Окей.
Revelio. Ah, I see how this goes.
Та, вже ж. А, це вже витягнуте. Чекай.
Revelio. You couldn't outwit me, Jekdоу. Now, where's the clue you left behind?
Це, напевно, буде відкриватися, я так підозрюю. Окей.
Revelio.
Ага. Угу. Так. Моя найдорожча Ен. Молодчина. Ти розв'язала мою загадку. Я знав, що ти споріднена духом і єдина, з ким я можу насправді розділити мої пригоди. Ком не розсипали цьому Річарду. Зустрінь мене на межі забороненого лісу, як тільки зможеш, і я покажу тобі карту, про яку я згадував. Невідомо, куди це нас приведе. Я знайшов це на сторінках, які Півз вирвав із секретної книги, і ніхто інший, здається, не зміг знайти. Я не знаю, що мене чекає попереду, але я радий знати, що поділюся своїм майбутнім з тобою. Це тільки початок. Річард. П.С. Я страшенно радий, що ти знайшла це, бо якби ти не знайшла, я б пішов далі сам, і що б то була за розвага.
Note from Jekdоу. Anne never found it. So how did he die? Was she to blame at all?
Чувак, а нахера було робити загадку? Я не пойму. Це якась перевірка була чи що? Наша була ця загадка? Щоб що? О, привид.
Could it be? Someone solved my puzzle after all these years. Well done indeed. Richard Jekdоу, at your service. The Richard Jekdоу? I heard you disappeared years ago. You have some explaining to do. I do? That was my puzzle you solved. What are you doing here? A retired aura, Helen Thistlewood, told me about a map you stole from Peeves, and then Anne told me about a cave. You saw Anne? Broke my heart. I had to go on without her. Probably best for her in the end. Dare I ask? How is she? She was imprisoned in Azkaban for your murder. I fear the Dementors have taken an irreversible toll on her. What? Azkaban? Oh, poor Anne. I had no idea. I thought she'd written me off. I've been traveling the world for years to mend my broken heart. I came back here only recently, on a whim. I must speak to the aura you mentioned and see how I can help Anne. I'm glad to hear it. Before you go, would I still be able to find the pages with the map Helen mentioned? I'm almost certain I dropped them in the cave the moment I was beheaded. They're bound to be mouldering away with the rest of me. Tell you what, meet me at the edge of the Forbidden Forest, and I'll show you precisely where to find them. If you don't mind my asking, how did you lose your head? I was having a look about when I suddenly sensed a refreshing breeze, after which I felt, well, lightheaded. That's all I remember. Hence, if you do find yourself in a cave, be prepared. I can't tell you what for specifically, but you seem a perceptive sort. Beware a light breeze.
Helen mentioned Apollonia Black. Did she set up Anne to take the fall?
Have you never met any members of the Black family? They can be rather vindictive. Once Anne showed an interest in me, Apollonia couldn't let it alone. That her own heart had grown cold simply didn't matter.
How is it possible to steal from Peeves, a poltergeist?
I didn't steal the pages from his ghostly form. I merely found them in his wake of destruction. He has a penchant for wrecking things. Books, bottles, suits of armor, whatever's likely to cause the most chaos. Found them on the floor outside the library where he discarded them. Not my luckiest find, all things considered.
Thank you. I need to find those pages to help a friend.
I shall see you there.
Ну, йде наступне завдання. Алло. Ну, з якимось запізненням з'являє. О, нам треба знати експеліармус. Ну, експеліармус ми вже знаємо. Що ж, думаю, на цьому ми поки завершимо. Дякую за вашу увагу. Не забудьте поставити вподобайку, написати якийсь комент, підписатися на канал, якщо вам цікаво дивитися далі. Дякую за вашу увагу. Бувайте!